welcome back to the Difference Engine podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Oakes. Recently, I've been seeing this come up in some coaching situations, and I've been thinking about it a lot in my own time. When we're getting started in business, growth comes pretty naturally. But as things progress, we get this curse of competence. We have to learn everything early on, and then later on, we relax a little bit. We're no longer running into problems we've never seen before. And we get good. Not world class, but good. And good enough to solve most of the problems that come our way. Really good enough that people start coming to us for answers instead of the other way around. And our experience becomes more valuable than our curiosity. And that's where it gets dicey, because most people think growth stalls because of failure. In my experience, it actually stalls because of success. Success teaches us nothing. When everything is working, we don't ask questions, generally. Customers are happy, the team is functioning, emergencies are less frequent, life gets easier, and that's what makes it hard to notice. Because in that environment, nobody wakes up one morning to learn or fix or problem solve. It's very subtle. And we, business owners, often stop seeking feedback as often because we just don't need it. We've seen the situation before. We stop challenging assumptions because most of our assumptions have been working. And the problem is the world keeps changing even when we're not. So a strategy that worked 3 years ago may not work as well today, but it still gets the job done. And a leadership style that got you to $1 million in revenue probably won't get you to 5. The habits that help survive a startup actually damage the progress to an established company. But our competence has a funny way of convincing us that is what has worked before will keep on working forever. It happens a lot. It's a function of the human brain that we seek the path of least resistance, and we would rather stay with a sure thing that we have proven works rather than branch off into a new thing that we have yet tested. And what gets us stuck as business owners is that we're relying on knowledge we've already learned instead of pursuing knowledge that we still need. We see ourselves as experts, and experts stop looking. One of my favorite questions to ask in conversations, mostly just conversational, like not necessarily in a coaching capacity, what I ask is, but what have you changed your mind about recently? Not because changing your mind is good necessarily, but because it tells me if someone has sort of a fixed perspective on life or if they're continually taking in new stimulation, new ideas, and opening their mind to it. If there's nothing you can think about you've changed your mind in the last 6 months, maybe there's time to challenge some stuff. The people I tend to admire are ones who have the right to call themselves experts and have the right to rest on the laurels. They're successful, they're respected, they've achieved a lot of things, and they're still curious. They still put themselves in a room where they're challenged. Competence is a wonderful tool, but it's a terrible place to live. It's it's a building block, but only that. It'd be like staying in a gas station for days at a time. It's a great place to rest for a little bit and refuel, maybe stretch your legs. But a lot of people park at competence. A lot of people figure out how long they can stay there. So a couple of questions, and that's kind of the secret here, is questions are the root of curiosity. It kind of seems like it goes without saying, but questions are what causes us to open our mind. And sometimes you question the wrong things. The root of overthinking is questioning everything. The root of overthinking is doubt. And if you ask yourself enough questions, especially about the wrong things, you'll just continually doubt. So questions I've been asking myself recently, asking people that I know, is where am I relying on old competence? Or another way of saying that might help highlight the areas, what areas can be upgraded? Because assumes that you're already doing a good job at it, but it can be improved. A rough one you can ask is, where am I assuming I already know the answer? I was coaching a business owner in one of our first sessions, actually, and in our discussion, I explained to him this analogy of poker. And if you don't understand poker, I'll try to break this down quick. But in Texas Hold'em, there are, I think, 4 rounds of betting. I can tell I don't gamble a whole lot. But you have the river first, or excuse me, the flop first. The flop is 3 cards. You can bet before that. The flop comes out. You bet on the flop. And you can bet on the turn, which is 4th. I'm getting these mixed up. The turn and then the river. At any rate, you can bet on every single time. So there's 3 cards that come out, you bet. Another card flips over, you bet. And the last card comes and you bet. And a good poker player knows that you gamble against the other person's hand. So you're really trying to determine if the other person has a good hand or not, because they're bluffing and so are you. So you have to figure out, based on their body position, what their tells are, if they're actually being honest by their bets, or if they're actually showing signs that they're trying to make you think they have a good hand when they really don't. And the reason the flipping the cards over matters is because those cards are either aligning or not aligning with their hand. They're making their hand better or worse. And if you're amateurish at poker, you'll watch the cards as they come out and react to them. If you're decent at poker, you'll watch the cards as they come out and not react to them. And if you're a strategist when you're playing poker, you will not watch the cards come out. You'll watch everybody else watch the cards come out, because the cards are going to stay there on the table. And you can always look back down and see what it has done to your hand. But the moment the card comes out and everyone's watching it, you can't have that moment again. You can see the micro expressions in their face. You can see how they might move or adjust before they start bluffing again. And it kind of functions the same thing as a leader. If you are the first one to throw your opinion out in a room, if you're the first person to wade in with a solution, you're probably missing things that are valuable from your team, who spend 30 or 40 or 50 hours a week doing the same thing you're doing and might see things that you don't see. And you have the hidden benefit of involving them before you weigh in. So how that looks in practice is, if you're having a meeting, checking everyone else's thoughts and emotions first. You can do this directly or indirectly by asking for feedback, or listening to someone else's idea and watching other people react to that idea, and getting a read for the entire team before you make a decision or before you offer your own opinion. But once you as the business owner have offered your opinion, it may or may not ever be challenged. It's common, I see, for a business owner who is the expert and the person who signs the checks to be in a room of middle managers or their team or the office manager, and the business owner immediately comes out with, this is what we have to do, and everyone signs off on it because they don't want to rock the boat. And really helpful ideas get missed and overlooked because no one ever asked for it and no one ever made space for it. And as soon as the cards were down, people placed their bets and showed their hand. and you can't get those moments back. So if as a business owner, you feel often that the conversation starts and ends with your opinion, or starts with your opinion, and people are shy or timid or reserved about answering back to it, then probably there is a curse of competence that exists in your team or in your business. It doesn't have to be even so overt, so obvious that people don't want to challenge your opinion. They may be mildly interested, and if you seem like you have a handle on it, they're just not. They think that what they have to offer isn't valuable, or they don't want to waste time, or they don't think their opinion is meaningful enough. So the way around this is to cultivate curiosity, and the way to improve on this is to be more aware of surroundings. It's common for a business owner to be very ambitious, hard-charging, goal-oriented, and that can act as a tunnel vision. in more than one way. So very important to check surroundings. Very important to ask questions that can deepen, because if we are not the absolute best in our industry, even if you are the absolute best in your industry, innovation comes from continuing to imagine and ask questions and grow, rather than having a fixed mindset and saying, I got it all figured out. So remember, there is no substitute for achieving your dreams and goals.